Welcome to the Scoop World Order. I have one of the biggest fan favorites in the history of Ohio State football. I have Mr. Kenny Guiton, Kenny G. Kenny, how are you today, my man?
Man, I'm awesome. Thanks for having me, Kirk. Man, how you doing?
I'm good, man. So you are a 29-year-old position coach in the SEC with the Arkansas Razorbacks. How's that feel? Like, I mean, that's pretty awesome, amazing. I mean, for your age to achieve what you've achieved in coaching, tell me a little bit about your rise in the profession so far.
Man, it's been awesome. It's been crazy. It's been a lot of fun, man. I always knew I want to get in coaching, Kirk. You know, my dad's a coach and has brothers that coached as well. And so never thought it'd be this level, you know, college football. I thought I'd be on the high school level back in my high school, you know, doing big things, and opportunities presented itself. I got a chance to start early in this game, man. And man, it's been an awesome ride doing something you love to do and just building a family since that time. And it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been awesome watching your rise. I remember seeing you at Houston when you were GA, and you kind of do that like level jump where you go from place to place. And where'd you go after Houston?
After Houston, so I GA'd at Houston. I left and went to Texas for a little bit with Herman and was a QC. Yeah. And then I went back to Houston as the wideouts coach. Yeah. So once we left Houston, I went to Louisiana Tech and coached wideouts there for a year, and then Colorado State last year.
So, like, it's basically been 5 places in 5 years.
Yeah.
Texas back to Houston, Houston to Louisiana Tech to Colorado State to now you're at Arkansas. I mean,
yeah. It's been crazy. I told my wife we're sitting still. We're sitting still now.
I love it, man. That's awesome, bro. So we'll talk a little bit about kind of your high school career, and we'll fast forward towards the end of it. When did your process was like mine? I was a late offer guy. You know, you got offered late. Talk a little bit about that whole ordeal where, you know, all of a sudden you have an Ohio State offer. What day did you get offered on signing day?
I got offered about a week before. I mean, so I mean, it was last minute, you know, but it was well worth it. You know, when it came, it was perfect timing. It was like, I didn't care about when it came. It's like, hey, the opportunity is here. Let's go. Let's ride.
Yeah, and you came in with trust. You know, obviously trust was great. I mean, trust is the man. He really is. He's awesome. But we we went through the transition together, from Trust to Luke, to Coach Meyer. Then, when it started off with Coach Meyer, I mean, it was tough. Talk a little bit about that first team meeting in 12. I mean, it was like literally like the day after the Gator Bowl, we lose.
Yeah.
We had to go and see the new coach. Talk a little bit about the 5 a.m. meeting we had with the team, and a little bit of an eye-opener.
The funny thing is, funny story, that first meeting, man, OJ, my guy, Oregon Johnson, his car breaks down, so I have to go pick him up. He hits me up. We go pick him up. I call a coach. I let him know. I'm like, hey, coach, I'm on time. He was on time. Car broke down. Blase. Man, we get there and it's like World War III, dude. Hey, y'all are late. Y'all can't go in. And it was crazy, man. It was like, man, I'm late to the first one, and it was like, man, I promise you, it was for a good reason. But at the end of the day, we got held for it, and man, that was a crazy time. Funny story. I missed that meeting. Funny story. I was in there. I was in there doing Stairmasters after a while.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, they had guys had to like clean the weight room, and I mean, guys had to come in early and work out on their own away from the team. I mean, it was hard, man. We started off.
It was tough.
The 4:45 or 5:45 a.m. workouts or 5:55. It was
for that first week.
That sucked.
Oh yeah,
especially coming off a season, because normally you're like you get a little bit of time to chill, and there was no chilling with Coach Meyer. Where a little bit back to your recruiting, where would you have gone if you hadn't gotten that Ohio State offer a week before signing day?
That's a great question. So I had lost out on all my Big 12 offers. I was about to go to Prairie View A&M University.
No way.
I was about to go do numbers. That's been
balling. You're gonna go to Prairie.
I'm about to go do numbers.
Where would you have gone Big 12 wise? Because it's hard when you're a quarterback, man. It's like they only take one,
exactly,
two at most, but 99% of the time they take one.
Exactly, and at that time, I understood the process, but I probably didn't understand the extent of that. Like, hey, you're at a position, brother. They're only taking one. You better, make your decision and roll with it. But my first love was Kansas back then. Man, Gino had it rocking, and the quarterback Todd Reesing, I won't forget his name, man. He was really good. They went to the Orange Bowl, and that they were my first offer as well. So like the first school I started building a relationship with, and I had a guy from my high school go there before me, about 3 or 4 years before me. So man, it was just kind of all in line for Kansas. So that was like my first love at the time.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's like it's hard. I mean, like the offer thing's tough, man, because some of these kids they want to wait and play around, but man, it's like if they offer another guy and he takes it, then all of a sudden your spot's gone.
Yep.
Unless you're just like that dude and they're gonna find a spot for you regardless. But
no matter what,
most of us aren't that dude. Most of us it's like if they offer you better commit, or else they're gonna offer the next kid. And you'll it's like you free fall from like you said, Big 12 schools to Prairie View A&M where you scored, you'd won the 1AA Heisman probably.
You know what I mean? Sure.
That is crazy. So talk a little bit about you're backing up Braxton in 12.
Yep.
And it was just like this is just crazy. And then obviously we're gonna talk Purdue game because the Purdue game was you saved our bacon, man, because like everybody we get all this great love about the 12-0 season, but man, we were not very good. And then we get Braxton gets hurt, Kiki Short hits him and about kills him, and ambulance comes out, even though there wasn't really anything wrong with Braxton. We found out, but he still went off on the ambulance. And Kenny G comes in, man. How were you feeling when all of a sudden Braxton's down on the ground in pain and it's Kenny G time? How are you feeling when you see that?
I mean, it was a kind of mixed up wave of emotions because you're happy you're getting your shot. You hate it's coming like that, So it was kind of mixed up waves. I know I had an opportunity though to kind of show what I can do. And so it was like after a while, once you know it is, then you got to have your mind set on the goal at hand. And the goal at hand was to get a W at all costs. So first it started a little slow. I got a safety, and it was like, all right, now what are you going to do, buddy? Because it's it's do or die time. So, man, when I saw we had one last drive, a chance, I said, this is it. This is a chance right here. This is why. Honestly, why God put me in this situation of going to the Ohio State University. This is the reason why, right here. So why not go out there and give them all? And it all came through because, man, before that, you kind of question a bit, when you're not getting a chance to do what you love to do. But at the end of the day, you put there for a reason. And I honestly feel like I wouldn't be in this position I am today, like we talked about earlier, being 29, coaching in the SEC. If I would have ever thought about entering a transfer portal or doing something like that, because what that place did for me and has been doing for me has been awesome.
Yeah, I mean, because you stuck it out, and Tom Herman put you on as GA, and you always have Urban in your back pocket as a guy that'll vouch for you, and he's the godfather, so you have him vouching for you. That always helps.
And I need to get back in touch with my guy Tress. So if you're hearing this, I need to make sure I get your number.
I'll give you his number.
I need that.
I was texting him. Yeah, I'll absolutely. I'll do that for sure. You talk a little about. So you hit Chris Fields. It is just funny because it was like the doghouse team. Like as I'm saving it, it's like Kenny G's in the doghouse, Chris Fields in the doghouse, doghouse squad bails us out, and then the play where we threw it to Hireman on the that little Hyde play, the tight end Hyde play.
Yeah.
Like I remember Urban in the huddle, like before we called that, wanted to run 13 book.
Yep.
And I was like, you remember that? And I'm sitting there next to Herman, and I'm like, dude, don't run a Kewan short. We haven't blocked him all day, and he's the best player on the field on either team. And don't run right at that cat. Well, dude, I mean, he's like made like $90 million in the NFL playing D tackle. Like
I know.
I've never seen a guy devastate us inside like that guy did. And I was like, do not run at that guy. Just call any other play other than running right at their best player. Yeah. And we ran, and Herman stuck to his guns. He's like, coach, we practiced the Hyde play, and we even ran it wrong. Like the tight end went behind the tackle, which never happens in any practice. And you found Harmon, and I was like, holy cow, we actually we didn't screw this up. It was amazing, because that would have been a bad day, man. You lose to a 5-7 Purdue team in the shoe, that's
to mess up your undefeated season,
oh my god,
that was our bowl game, was to go 12-0. That's what we wanted.
Yeah, that's the only way you could get a ring. Is go 12-0, because we couldn't even win the Big Ten that year. We couldn't even go to the championship game. So that was that was fun. So then about a year later, you get to go out to Cal, play Jared Goff, and you're the read option king. People want to know, how are you so good at the read option? because I mean, I was just he's just smart. He processes fast. That's why he's so good at it. But what made you so good at running the read option?
It's crazy, man. You're going back to my roots right now, Kirk. So I was talking about my dad coaching earlier, coaching at my high school. Well, my high school was really, really good in the late 90s, early 2000s. When my dad was he was still coaching. He coached there for 20 years.
Yeah.
And so in the early 2000s, late 90s, they were really good, going up for state titles. They played Cedric Benson in the state championship one year, and all they ran was I formation, triple option type stuff.
Yeah.
And so I grew up kind of learning that from my dad, playing quarterback, receiver, all kind of stuff. And next thing you know, I get to the high school. We're running that my sophomore year.
Yeah.
Is when I starting a little bit. We're running that, but we got some really good wideouts. And I'm the quarterback, and I'm throwing it. And so the next year, my junior year, is when we finally switched from that read option stuff. My junior and senior year, we spread it out. But we still ran it from the gun.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of knew how to just run the read option. And so when the RPOs added to the game, it was just adding that to, instead of me reading a DN, now I'm reading a DB or a linebacker and throwing off of them instead of running. It was, I don't know, it was an easy transition for me, because that's literally how I learned the game, was the kind of the triple option game. And then it just evolved from there.
Yeah, you just get all those reps of it, man. It's just
figuring
out who to read and reading them quick, and you gotta trust your eyes. I mean, that's the thing that is, you can't, because they'll try to fake you out, they'll try to hesitate, and I love the read option. I just tell NFL guys like Kyler Murray, just slide, just don't take a hit. You can go get 7, just slide before the big dude kills you, and you're fine. It's just so hard to defend. I mean, because
I would agree. I mean, it's so tough for defenses out here, man. I mean, the game nowadays, it's made to score points. That's what sells. So as long as it keeps selling, I'm gonna keep coaching on this offensive side of the ball.
That's it. That's where it's at, man. You see all these head coaches are all offensive minds, man. Defenses, no one cares about defense anymore. And last year it was bad with the COVID stuff, because I mean, I just felt like defenses weren't in shape. So that's why there were just record points being scored. It's never been harder to play defense, but when there's no summer conditioning, that benefits the offense, because the defensive guys almost have to run the ball every play.
That's a good point you bring up. It's a good point.
Yeah, it's wild. So talk a little bit about Cal. I mean, that was you balled out when Braxton was out for a couple of games, and you had the 6 touchdown passes, set the record. I mean, you have a crazy career, man. I mean, it's damn, for any other kid who is quote unquote a backup, I mean, you set records, you saved our hides in 2012. You had a nice run there. Did you
yeah, man. I like to say that I had my 15 minutes of fame, man. I had it, I'm just kidding.
But bro, I'm telling you, you'll be beloved in Ohio forever, because when you got your at bats, you hit home runs. It was crazy. You're the greatest pitch hitter ever.
That, man. I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. And that's just the love. It's reciprocated. I can promise you that, because I just love Ohio, man. You got to know, this Texas boy coming up there, man. They took care of me, and so they took care of me. I wanted to put my best out there for them. So honestly, I was just always happy that it came out as, like you said, a home run, man. It's always been so awesome and a great experience, man. And I knew that Cal game, man. I just had a feeling. One thing about me, about the game, I felt like growing up from a parent that coached it, I knew the game. I know the game, and now you're going to give me time to prepare for you, that, for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I felt like, I don't know when it'll end. I'm going to enjoy this, and I'll be ready for it, every minute of it. I promise you that. And so I just had a feeling kind of the actual game day and running out on the field and just warm-ups, putting my socks on, whatever it was, I felt it, man. I just kind of knew, like, this is my time, man, and I'm going to get it. I'm not letting it wait and come to me.
I love it. Did you I love it, man. Did you talk a little bit about Tress's influence on you? You brought your boy up, but his influence on you as a coach, as a player, how you communicate with your kids now, because I mean you have a room now. I mean, those you write your name on that room and those kids every day. So talk a little bit about Tress's influence. I'm gonna do Tress, I'm gonna do Coach Mar, do Tom Herman, but talk about Tress first. His influence.
Man, I thought Tress always gave me a sensibility of being even keel. No matter what, stay even keel. You mess up, it's not gonna be as long as you ain't doing nothing crazy, it's not gonna be a big deal of blowing you up and all that. It'd be that same even keel, but just a few different words that you understand. Like, all right, I'm sorry, Tress, you're right. I'm in the wrong, And so he kind of taught me that even keel of not riding that emotional, roller coaster, that going up when it's too high when it's good. Remember my first touchdown, man, I high step in the end zone and all that. And he's like, hey, act like you've been there before, and it's not nothing. Yeah. It's not nothing, that's not crazy. Nothing bad. But when you hear it, it's like, oh, you're right. Yes, sir. I got you. And it's that same thing when it's the other way around. Something, that you've done and messed up. It's, hey, what's right, what's wrong. And if you want to take that path, you got to take the, consequences that come with it. But it's not going to be a big, big, big blow. That's one thing I really took from him, man. And I love that about him. And the number two, I probably put this in front of that, is just how passionate he was about his Christianity, and it kind of just came off his aura, and so you kind of just know when you're around him that you better be on good stuff, and you better, I don't know, it was something about, it's kind of like when you're around the Godfather, hey, I'm around the Godfather, and anything can go crazy at any moment, but but when I'm around Tressel, I know, hey, I better be on my utmost respect, and I know what he's on.
Yeah, he's the best. All right, now let's switch gears. Let's talk about Coach Meyer. It's his, because obviously a very different style, different ordeal. But talk about like what you learned from Coach Meyer and his influence on you.
Man, just the winner. That's the number one thing I could say about that guy. I mean, he's a winner, man, and he'll teach you how to get it done. He'll teach you the hard work and then the dedication it takes to get to that ultimate goal. That's one thing you can see, and it's a everyday, all day process. It's not a, hey, you do this every once in a while type thing. This is how you carry yourself. This is how you, and it's kind of not beaten to you. That's very, very wrong words to say. Do not mean it like that, but it's kind of thrown on you to where, hey, you have to take it, and if you do and you last through it, you'll be a champion. And that's what I loved about it. That deep grind, and hey, you're in a foxhole, and let's all get up out of it together.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Talk a little bit about Herm, because he was the first guy to put you on as a GA. I mean, it takes a guy to believe in you to put you on, give you your first job, and then kind of grow from there. But talk a little bit about what you learned from Herm.
It's crazy. It's that belief, like you say in me, that belief you got to hire me as a coach. He was like one of the first guys when Meyer's staff was there. Staff first got there, that I had to kind of buy over the belief in me. That really I didn't feel like I had to buy him over or anything like that. He believed in me, and that was awesome. Because I had some of the defensive staff guys with Fickle and Vrabel around who were also there before. They kind of knew me, but I don't know, man. I just had to make sure, people knew what I could do. And so Herman was one guy that honestly I felt like believed in me from day one. He believed in you. He instilled it in you. He's gonna have fun with you. He's an inspirator. I mean, he can get you going at any moment, and loves to have fun. So, I mean, who doesn't want to be around that? So we had a lot of fun with him. Our room, we had an awesome room. I mean, with me, Braxton, Cardell, JT was the freshman, and JT didn't say much at all. We used to mess with him because he just said yes, sir, and stuff like that. Yeah. But Man, I mean, me, Cordell, and Braxton alone, and then Coach Herman in there, and man, it was a great time. It was a great time, and he's just always been himself, man, and I love that about him.
Yeah. What's your favorite memory from Ohio State?
My favorite memory would probably be the Purdue game.
I mean, that was.
By far. I mean,
it saved our bacon, man. We're about to get booed. We're about to get booed out of the stadium. Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, that day, the feeling I had at the end of that game is, I mean, you can't explain that. You can't. I couldn't explain it, man. Just really, the feeling I had on a 2-point conversion. I couldn't explain that feeling. The first touchdown, I was like, okay, cool. We got to get this 2 though. After that 2, I knew we were winning the game.
Different.
Man, I didn't know that feeling. I can't explain that one.
Is it hard to not overthrow a guy when he's just scot-free like that? Like when Harmon pops loose and you're just like, oh my God, all I got to do is just get it to him.
Yeah, depending on the style. Like that one, that was a hot potato. Like toss it over the once I saw him, it was all open. That was a little pop pass. It depends on the style. Sometimes on a go route, like a go route and they're wide open, it's like, all right, I don't want him to wait too long because the guy may catch him. Yeah. So let me put it out there. Then, I don't want to overthrow him.
Oh yeah. That was like Braxton in 11 up at Michigan. You remember that throw to DeVere?
Yeah.
Oh my God! If he hits that, we win. I mean, and we were terrible. We were 6 and 7, but
I know
that and we beat Michigan up there. Yep. But because DeVere was open. And it was
Yep.
But again, it's like, I've never played quarterback, so I always wondered about that. So, tell me a little bit about how's Arkansas going to be this year? How are your receivers? What's it like? I mean, you got some big, fast guys. I'm sure you're in the SEC, dude.
Yeah, I ain't gonna go too far into it, Kirk. But man, I think we're gonna have a really good squad, man. Coming back, Coach Pittman's done a great job with this program, man. I'm excited to be a part of it, and I think we got a squad, man, to compete in this SEC. So can't wait to put it all out there on the field, man.
And you start spring ball tomorrow?
Yes, we're starting this next week. Yes, sir. So.
Oh man, it's here. It's here. Well, dude, I really appreciate your time, man. This is awesome. No, I'll catch up with you. I'm gonna send you Trust's number as soon as we ring off here. But,
yes, please do. I need that.
You got that Woo Pig Suey down pat already?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
do. Let's hear it. I gotta hear it one time. How long do you do it for?
Oh man, you want the timing and all. All right, let me get back to your timing. Ooh, Pig Suey. Yes, sir.
You're the best, brother. Well, I remember we heard that only 6,000 times when you were down there for the.
Oh man, bowl, yes, so, that was a fun day as well. That was a fun day.
It was good, man. We almost gave that one away too. Punt block, field goal block, safety.
Those close games, man. Those close games are fun, man.
Yeah.
Kind of depending on which end you come out of.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as we win, we're fine. They're really fun as long as we win.
Exactly.
So, well, brother, I appreciate you, my man. Thank you for taking the time. I'll send you Tress's number and good luck with spring ball and Woo Pig Suey, baby.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, Kirk, man. Keep doing your thing, brother. I appreciate you.
See you, brother. Great talking to you.
Good talking to you too. Bye-bye. Bye.